what I mean?
I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. This is what it is. There were too many black people from outside Africa, from outside America, going to America and playing the arse. And what it is African Americans spotted this and spotted that there's a consistent pattern. Black Caribbeans, black people from Africa going to America and being the arse. And what the FBA agenda is putting up a wall and saying, no, you guys can't be a part of this if you're going to be on that, raccoon train.
When you say playing the ass, what? Because from what I know, a lot of Africans, a lot of Caribbeans who go there, academically, they're surpassing them. And also business-wise, they're surpassing them. So who was playing the ass?
When they then use that to say, well, that means that you African Americans are lazy. Do you see?
Yes.
And then being on some right-wing conservatism, let's throw African Americans under the bus.
That is true.
Let's pretend that Jim Crow didn't happen, redlining didn't happen, breaking up of African American business districts, breaking up of African American families. The COINTELPRO didn't happen. The Iran Contras and then moving drugs into the black community didn't happen. Yeah. And there's a whole list of things continuing right up until now that the American government has done to African Americans. And so for those black people recently arrived from outside America, you all didn't face any of that. So of course you're going to be doing better than African Americans. Duh.
Yeah.
But what's happening is a lot of the people outside Black America don't respect that. And so while I'm not about division, I can't.
A lot of you all don't understand the true history of Black Americans in the United States. Most of you all think that we went straight from slavery, just straight up to poverty. Like we just jumped out the slave quarters and they set us free and we just start smoking crack and making babies, illegitimate babies. And that's all we've been doing. But that's just not true. But if you listen to history, especially recent American history, it never acknowledges the great success of Black Americans. When I say Black Americans, I'm talking about my foundational Black Americans, those who were here, came with the Mayflower, who were here in 1492 and thereafter when came to the New World. I'm talking about those black people because I want you to understand something. So Columbus discovered the Dominican Republic in 1492. Shout out to all the folks in the DR. At some point, sometime later, more European explorers began to travel into North America proper. Okay, they made their way on up. Okay, they figured out there's got to be more to this place than this, and they came. And so, at some point around 1619, they start importing African slaves from the west coast of Africa. So you got from basically 1500, okay, to 1619. That's 120 years. Okay, in a 120-year time period, people of African descent had come to the United States. They weren't slaves. Even in 1619, there were black people in the United States who had become part of the colonials. They were citizens of these European powers all throughout the United States, not just in the Northeast. And so from that point forward, we move forward, and I'm just picking the major day. 1492, the so-called New World was discovered. 1619, they brought African slaves here. From 1619 to about 1776, that whole time period, what we know as the United States was chopped up by European powers. It was owned by France. It was a territory of Great Britain. It was a territory of Spain. And all of these different sections of the United States had a different culture. But we just want to focus on the portion that belonged to the British Empire at the time, from 1619 to 1776, and this is the Northeast for the most part, New York, Maryland, New Jersey, all these different places. Ohio was considered the Wild Wild West. These places thrived, and they had black people in these places. They had black people who participated both as enslavers and slaves. If we look at the history of Barack Obama, former president of the United States, he is technically of foundational black American descent. Not on his father's side, who was a Kenyan man who immigrated to this country, but on the side of his Kansas mom, who we all perceive as black. But the truth is, her relative, a black man, generations back, he married a white woman. And not only that, the man had slaves. He was a slave owner. Black relative had slaves. I just want you to conceptualize that, okay? Just conceptualize the fact that your black president, it gets his foundational black Americanness, or his black Americanness, if you will, from his mama, his white mama's side. And there's so many other white people in America who have a large percentage of sub-Saharan African DNA in them because they have relatives that interbred and intermarried with prominent black people, both prominent and not so prominent. But this is the story of America. And so let's understand that. During that time period, okay, because they were bringing black slaves to the United States, they had to figure out, well, how do we delineate between these people who are slave owners and these blacks? We can't have, if we're going to institute a system of racial segregation or social class, we cannot continue to allow the Africans or people of African descent who are in this country to intermingle and intermarry with whites, because at some point we won't be able to distinguish between the people we need, who we brought over here to work and build this country up, with the people who own. So what do we have to do? We have to begin to start driving wedges between them. And so what they did was they began to institute these racial laws that your black wife, you couldn't marry, white women couldn't marry black men. Black men who dealt with or dated couldn't marry white men couldn't marry black women. If you did have a black wife, she couldn't inherit, she could not own. These are the sort of things they came. We began to segregate people by their race or their designation. So the truth is, there were some black people who were here before slavery started in 1619. There was, and even during the worst of the so-called slave period here in the United States, from about 1619 all the way to 1865 at the end of the Civil War, you had about 1/3 of the black people in the United States, both in the North and the South, okay? Keeping in mind, the America that we look at today was about, at best, maybe one half of what it is now. And so America kind of stopped in Mississippi, and Mississippi itself was, for the most part, a territory freshly purchased from France. What's up? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D. People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You would tune in to Uncle D. D's Black Man Talk. Pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something, then you earn something. Let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. Blizzard King here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Attorney Spurling, this ain't pearly, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shootin', give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you been served, gotta know this. 9 black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Mm-hmm. Get up and whip him, Sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Flowbee and cut your own damn hair from now on.